To recognize right now. John?
Okay, thanks, Freddie. First, I want to ask General Snyder, Carl Snyder, to come up and help me welcome our special guest today from Fort Campbell. Where are they?
Right here.
I got it on video. It's on video.
What's your name? Sergeant John Boston. Where are you from, Sergeant? Illinois. We get a lot of Illinois guys here. Most Illinois. Yeah, well, General's got something for you there. Coins? Well,
I'm coming. I got the coins. I'm coming. Oh, I got this coming.
What's your name? This is Kyle Douglas. Where you from? Philadelphia. Just after the Army Navy game. Yeah. Well, FC Allen, where you from? Michigan. Ron Wynn. We'll have the first class. Where you from? Florida?
Did you say Ron Wade?
Wynn.
Oh. See, I thought from there
Got another Illinois guy here. Welcome. Thank all of you.
Yeah.
Another Sterling. Four of our veterans. The patriotic quilting group from this area. They're here. Okay. I'm gonna let you call me.
God, this shift has really grown since the last time I was
You
here.
guys need to make more quilts.
I know. Good morning. My name is Pat McMahon. I am the chairperson of the Quilts of Valley, the Cumberland Valley Quilters Association. We're hooked up with about 10 different organizations, and we have contacts that let us know when veterans are around. So we have done, in the 3 years I've had the committee, 304 quilts. So we've had, I am married to a 75-year-old Marine. I have a brother that served in the 173rd, but he's a lot older than this young man. And I had uncles in the Air Force, and I have a grandson that is a lieutenant in the Navy. So I can't be prejudiced with anyone, but the Marines tell me they hug them. So y'all have to prove that it's true. We are here to present quilts today. And what we're going to ask you to do is, when we call your name, come up. The only cost to any veteran for the quilt is I get a hug. And when I first started doing this, I was out all by myself. And then I reported to the group that I got hugged. So you see how many volunteers I have back here that are just more than willing. So I'm going to present the first quilt, and I will read the certificate that you have. The Quilts of Valor Foundation wishes to recognize you for your service to our nation. We consider it a privilege to honor you, though we may never know the strength and the sacrifice of service to protect the United States of America. Let me express my gratitude for your award with the Quilt of Valor. And my quilt is going to Patrick McGuffey.
Patrick McGuffey. Patrick McGuffey.
Patrick McGuffey.
Come here, Patrick. Oh boy.
All he needs is a rocking chair now, Patrick.
I need Carl Schneider.
Carl Snyder coming. There he comes.
Ralph just told me he doesn't like the cold, so this is going to help him
I think it fits. Smile with the nice lady. Smile with the nice lady. Ralph, over here. Over here, Ralph.
Tom Meredith.
Tom Meredith.
All right.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Tom. Hey.
I've known him for a long time. This is the first time he's had one presented to a good inheritance.
I'm sorry, am I in your way, hon?
Give this lady a smile. Smile.
Thank you, these ladies. They've done this for so long, and I was privileged to get one many years ago, and it's a real honor to have it.
Good seeing you.
Thank you. I want to hug you. I want to introduce Freddie, but also Mark and who else is here?
Mark Stipe and
Mark Flint. Mark Flint. Yeah, all three of these guys from Costco. And I just want to say 20 years, these guys have made us like family, and we feel like they're like family. And I'll bet they've made over 100, maybe 200 birthday cakes for our people through the years. They take care of us on holidays. They let us assemble here. They're great guys. They've done a lot for us, and we thank you all for being here. And right now, Freddie's going to introduce some of our county and city mayors and other dignitaries, and then we'll have some other people. You ready?
thank you, John. This is all possible from the very top here. Glenn McChesney, our GM.
Hey.
I just want to say thank you to all of you for your service. We don't get what we have in this country without you. I appreciate everything. I'm a Navy brat. My dad served for 20 years. He's 89 years old, lives down in Florida. I tell him about this. He wishes he could be here for stuff like this. I had a hard time this year buying him something for Christmas. When you're 89 years old, you kind of run out of options. So I found he served on 6 different ships. I found photos of each ship he served on. And, it was the coolest thing to see his face when he saw those pictures. And I'm sure there's so many memories and stories you could share with us. But from the bottom of our hearts, we love every one of you and thank you all very much.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now I'd like to introduce the mayor of Brentwood, Ray Little. He has something special for us today too, and I'm going to allow him to introduce our other city commissioners. Ray, thank you.
Thank y'all for allowing me to be here. It's such an honor to come and honor you. Just like to start with introductions. Our county mayor, Rogers Anderson. Appreciate him being here. A few of my fellow commissioners, Susanna McMillan, Vice Mayor Ted Travis, Commissioner Nelson Andrews, and I know that y'all are a pretty good group, but I understood that sometimes y'all got rowdy on leave, and I couldn't get a detachment of MPs, and so we thought we'd bring the police chief, Jeff Hughes.
The high sheriff is here also.
It is an honor to honor y'all. Two things my Lord said is the greatest of all is the servant of all. There's no greater love than that one would lay down his life for his friends. And every one of y'all epitomize that. And we so appreciate your service, your love for your fellow combatants, your love for country, your love for family and God. And so the city of Brentwood wanted to give a small proclamation. I think this Middle Tennessee Veteran Support Group is a great and wonderful organization for what it does and what it stands for. I think it's amazing. Y'all have been together 20 years, starting with 2 people, as they told me earlier. And it's grown, I guess, 100 or more. I think it's also wonderful that Costco is always such a good community corporate partner. It's very active in our community in many ways, but I think this is a glorious way for them to be active. I would just like to read the proclamation by the city of Brentwood. Whereas the freedoms that we enjoy each day as an American does not come without a price. And whereas joining together each week in an honored group of veterans that have paid that price by serving their country and sacrificing for these liberties. Whereas the Middle Tennessee Veteran Support Group has given these veterans an opportunity to gather and fellowship over their common bound for the last 20 years. Now, therefore, as mayor of the city of Brentwood, I do join with the Board of Commissioners and honor you on this 20th anniversary year. We sincerely thank you for all your service to us and our country. Thank you very much.
Oh, there we go.
Okay? Thank you.
Excellent. Now I'd like to introduce one of your own, fellow veteran and our county mayor, Rogers Anderson.
Well, it doesn't seem like it's been 20 years. Neither does it seem like that we're all 70 some odd years of age either, or 80. The reason that we brought the sheriff with us today is in case y'all get too rowdy outside the city limits. The sheriff's jurisdiction goes out into the unincorporated area. Dusty Rhodes is with us. Let me say to Costco, first of all, this corporate spirit that we're beginning to see over and over and over, certainly in the last 20 years, has just been amazing. If you're a Vietnam veteran like I was when you came back, you kind of slipped into your civilian clothes as quick as you could and hurried on back to mama's cooking. That's not the way it is anymore, and I am so proud of Costco for stepping up to the plate. Glenn, you and Freddie, and all the other organizations in corporate America, and particularly here in Middle Tennessee. In Williamson County, we have about 10,000 veterans. That's without a military base. That's amazing. And just recently, we just hired another veteran service officers where you get your car tags. There's a gentleman down there that has just put in over 20 years worth of service with the Navy. He is excited. He can help you out with a lot of those benefits that you may not even know that you need. I encourage you to call Veteran Service Officer of Williamson County, set up an appointment, come down and see him, and talk to him about some of these benefits that you've already earned. It's not like you're taking any tax dollars out. The money is allocated for you. Again, I want to say thank you, and to my fellow elected officials from Brentwood, they're some of the finest people, and thank you. And finally, Freddie and Glenn, this is a great store for us for sales tax. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
All right. I appreciate everybody. We've got some cake, and help yourselves. I've got a couple more cakes too, so don't be bashful. Go ahead and get this cut. Have a good time. Enjoy your lunch if you haven't already. Thank you very much.
First of all, I want to thank my wife, Ann. She designed the coins that we have. I hope you all have them. If you don't, we've got some more available. So I want to thank her for that. I think they're beautiful and they represent what we're all about. Secondly, I want to introduce Ed Polly. Where's Ed? Right in front. Okay, Ed. Ed was the number 3 person in this group. I'm going to tell you about Jim McGregor, who was number 2. Well, maybe he was number 1 and I'm number 2. But we can't argue that anymore. But, and then I want to thank G.I. Woody. Where's G.I.? Where? G.I. Well, we made 500 name tags for our group. All you got to do is get your name to Paul, and Paul will get G.I. and you'll have it. Now, I know some people would argue that, but G.I. is the guy behind the name tags. There are probably a lot of others. Ed Trowbridge, he's one that gets so many of these cakes that Costco gratuitously gives on our birthdays. But there's so many. But I want to tell you a little bit about Jim McGregor. Some of you may not have even heard of Jim McGregor. Some of you may remember him. He's been dead maybe 10 years now. I want to tell you the story of how this group got together. I'll try to be real fast about it. We moved here this week in the year 2000. 20 years ago, we moved here from Atlanta. And so we went out to lunch one day. Ann loves to go out to lunch. And so we went to lunch one day, and I saw this big guy over there with white hair, and so I said, I know that guy. So I went over and said, are you Jim McGregor? And he said, yeah, who are you? But Jim had been a friend of our family for many years in Atlanta. He had been a client of mine in the financial business, and he said, you like hot dogs? And I said, yeah, well, I've got some coupons. Let's come by and get me, and we'll go to Costco. So we did, and that's how the thing started. Now I want to tell you a little about Jim. I'm going to pass this around when we finish. This is Jim sitting in a cockpit of a B-24 bomber over in Pony Maple basement before Pony died. Jim was a B-24 pilot. He was a major in the Army Air Corps. 25 missions over Germany. He led the Gotha raid. He brought a plane in one time with 278 50 caliber bullets in it. That they were shot by the Germans. But he also was doing some practice runs out in Nebraska, and one of his guys shot the tail off of his plane. So Jim had a book that he was quite a writer in his older ages. age, and he had a book that he put out, and wasn't able to find it today. We might need to get it, but to tell you who Jim was and what kind of person he was, the name of the book was "Don't Call Me Hero." Don't call me hero. And it was his life story. I think every one of you here probably would say the same thing. Don't call me hero. I just did my duty. I just did my duty. And that's what it's all about. We can all do, as Glenn said, we can all do our duty. We may not all be heroes. But Jim didn't want to be called a hero, but he was. But Jim had grown up in Western Canada on a big ranch. His grandfather had been governor of that province there in Canada, and so he was big in the cattle business. So on the night of, I guess, December the 5th, 1941, he was in a cattle car going from Canada to New York to a big cattle show. Teenager. And they finally got the next morning after that, they pulled into New York, they opened the doors of the cattle car, and somebody said, "We're at war. We've just been bombed in Pearl Harbor," which he didn't have any idea where Pearl Harbor was. But he joined up right then and became a pilot. Wanted to be a fighter pilot, but he was too big, and they put him in the bombers, and he had 25 missions over Eastern Europe. I'm not sure how many losses he had, but brought most of them back, and they had some harrowing experiences. Jim went on to work in the cattle business, finished college, and worked in the cattle business. And one of his clients was General Eisenhower, at that time President Eisenhower. And Jim spent many times up on General Eisenhower's ranch near Gettysburg, Carlisle Barracks, and the general came down many times to his ranch down in South Georgia because they were doing some experimental work in cattle. Jim kind of knew how to run with the big dogs, but he never considered himself to be a big dog. Jim, any of you that knew him, Jim was a gracious person. Never would tell you about what all he'd done, but everybody that came here and knew him while we were here, they all loved Jim. And so I just thought you might need to get a little bit closer, because we talked about the two founders. Well, Jim was one of them. And I'm going to pass this picture around, and so it goes to Tom Meredith, but right now I'll just pass it around so everybody can see it. Thank you. Very good. I don't think so.
When are you going to let you have the picture made?
All right, folks. I believe that's it.
They want to do a group picture.
I think you're
Yeah, we need a group picture. Okay, how do you want to organize? This is, everybody knows Paul. He wants his group picture. So I think we're going to take it. The camera's going to be over here. We're going to try and get everyone we can to this end of the room.
Make sure you can see the camera. So take your hats off when we take the pictures and see who people are.
Hey, Paul, turn it off.
Is this off? Is this off?